Then Halloween night.
Might be the time.
I'll be cosplaying.
This might be my year.
All right, now I'm gonna delve into. This is a special film. I'm talking about SWAT Under Siege. This is a movie that came out just recently. You can actually watch it online for free
On the tube.
Yes, on YouTube, on a few other networks too. YouTube probably the easiest accessible, and it's a pretty simple story. It's pretty straightforward, and it's not covering any kind of new ground. I'll break it down real quick. The plot is a SWAT compound comes under fire from an international terrorist who relentlessly and violently pursues a mystery man who was apprehended by Seattle SWAT after
Seattle
a raid
SWAT
went
sounds like a
horribly
bad
wrong.
guy.
Seattle SWAT's the department.
Yeah.
But it's starring Michael Jai White and Adrian Padalecki.
I don't see Michael Jai White in enough movies. I know that.
Michael Jai White is a grossly underappreciated actor.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think if it wasn't for Black Dynamite, he'd have stayed in that realm of like that guy.
Fringe.
The
awesome,
so-and-so,
yeah.
what's his name, what's his nuts, you know?
Yeah.
Along the same lines as Bokeem Woodbine. As seriously,
you know my
Billy
relationship
Blanks.
with Bokeem.
He's one of those dudes, man. It's like he does a lot of work, and you'll know his face, you'll forget his name.
You know his pecs too from.
Jeez, yeah, no, the man is cut.
He's stacked
just
up.
D's ridiculously. The Jerry Springer movie. My favorite is that his girl catches him out, just basically sneaking around, and he's there. He's like, "I know what you were doing." He's like, "No, baby, you don't understand. See, I was out taking a walk and saw this sign that said all night Bible study." So
Wait a minute.
You've seen this?
Seems legit.
Is this Spawn?
This is Spawn.
Oh my good.
Yeah.
I knew I
You
recognized
didn't
that voice.
recognize Spawn himself? Michael Jai White.
yeah.
Wait. I didn't recognize Spawn. Spawn's burnt for
Yeah, but he's in-
50,
He
90%
in the
of the
first
movie.
15 minutes.
To that interview.
Yeah.
He's got like burnt flesh all over the place.
But he's in the
yes,
movie,
I didn't
In the
yeah.
first
recognize
15
him.
minutes,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Well, this was not Spawn. This was not even the Jerry Springer movie.
That's upsetting.
This was not the Steven Seagal
Now
movie
I just
that
want to
was-
rewatch Spawn.
man.
It's John Leguizamo's second finest film.
It's on Netflix, actually. Right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I watched it the other day.
Yeah, they're talking about remaking it too, so chew on
Nice
that a
dress.
little
You're thinking
bit.
again,
But this
nice
movie
dress.
stars Michael Jai White, as I said, Adrian Padalecki, who, if the name doesn't sound familiar, you may recognize as Agent Morse, Agent Bobby Morse from Agents of S.W.A.T. Also from the failed Wonder Woman pilot. She's actually done really good stuff, and they were grooming the Morse character for her own show with the pilot because her character on Agents of S.W.A.T. was so popular. She's done pretty good work and become kind of a known face, and this is not the most prestigious title she could have been attached to. But her performance in this is a departure from what we're usually seeing her play, and I won't give any spoilers, but it was interesting. And this movie, which I'm not going to lie, it was a combination of bad acting and good acting with really crappy dialogue. It's basically the epitome of your classic 80s, oh man, they're just good cops in a bad situation type movie. And then there's what do you got, Johnny? Because you saw this too.
This is garbage beyond belief, man. I've had more satisfaction and entertainment going on the throne than I did
Wow. Okay,
watching this. This is terrible. So
harsh
all
words.
the acting is actually really good. I actually like because they're kind of working with what they had. I didn't see any instances of anyone sort of.
Then it's not good acting. They don't elevate.
Misdoing, and they had some decent choreography going in there.
Yes,
Nothing crazy, but it was like they did have what was it, the Clint Eastwood punch thing. They did have some ridiculous.
I like that. That's a very specific type of punch.
But I think it was owning up to what that movie was supposed to be, which is like the awful action movies of the late 80s and early to mid 90s, like Hard Target. This is like
those are classics.
Well, okay, no, we're talking about movies that you would see straight to video. You would see movies called Deadly Weapon instead of Lethal. You know, you'd find them all next to
just like a sequel to anything else that doesn't have the original cast.
No. Something made that's supposed to be like a popular movie, but not quite. It's just we perfect example is when Twister was big. They had those movies that were all called Tornado.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Called
just trying to cash in on something that was popular.
Catastrophic
and
wins.
You're making it real.
Yeah. This was definitely one of those.
Yeah, it's the biggest failure of this movie is that everything about it is generic. The scenario is generic. The story is generic. The writing is generic. Everything is derived from something else, and it's what's the word? Cliche. It's the most cliche movie I've ever seen.
Well, this is a movie that no one's really heard of that's on YouTube.
Well, it's brand new, so I mean, give it time to actually, see if he can establish a ground in the fan base. Because one thing I have to call out is it's a Michael Jai White movie that's not actually starring Michael Jai White. The main character in this is the commander.
You know,
of the
Van
SWAT
Damme's
team.
been
His name
making
is-
movies like that. Like he'd be like Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's in like 10 minutes of it, and it's like some other actor.
Well, those I think for Van Damme were just a paycheck. This was Jai White taking. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but taking kind of a back seat. He is a major character, but like a second. Seat major character. This one dude played by Sam Yeager, who, for what they wrote for him, gave a decent performance. He seemed like a guy who was actually trying and a guy who cared about his team. And you're absolutely right. This was good actors, mostly good actors, with really bad dialogue. And the main thing that got me about the dialogue specifically, where the hell was Jai White supposed to be from? Because all I heard was it's like he's speaking like himself, but his speech patterns, his cadence is very like old school in those old racist movies where
He's
it's like
going
very,
for the Oscar, Pat.
No, he's not.
He's
Okay,
selling-
like
he's
figure
selling.
like a
He wants-
1970s.
He's talking very slow.
It's
very
very like
deep.
1970s Fu
He's
Manchu.
enunciating.
Do you remember how Ming the Merciless spoke
Oh
in
my God.
Flash Gordon?
Oh boy.
Imagine those words and that cadence, but talking like with my voice and such.
So it's Ghost Dog.
But slower.
Ghost
But
Dog.
Definitely
slower,
slower.
yeah,
It's like emphasizing
We
every
did just
single word.
rewatch
I
the
thought
other day.
what he did
It's
with
not-
his voice
Yeah.
actually fit with the movie for his character. I thought what
It
he
felt
was
like a
doing,
lampoon. I
it
thought he
didn't
was-
take me out of it.
Let the
It took
record
me out of it,
show
'cause I
that
thought-
Adam quirked a brow at that.
Adam's very skeptical of a lot of things. I would actually
Yeah,
recommend.
because I had no right to be right about this one. Yeah.
Hey man,
Just that one.
what I'm gonna say is I would actually recommend people check this out
Oh,
because there are some
Oh,
movies that are
what?
bad
It's free.
and they're a waste of time. There are some movies that are bad and they're good. And
I
this
just want
wasn't-
everyone to know that Pat passed over Sharknado 5 for this.
Sharknado 5 was garbage. How dare you? And I can say that because I watched it.
But it's international.
I wasted 2 hours of my life watching that debacle, and
Is that
I
long?
was the major proponent of the previous Sharknado
They
movies.
killed Bret Michaels in it. What more do you need?
Sharknado
Oh my God.
1 through 3 were a very special experience.
Brett Michaels is in Sharknado.
Like poison?
Go ahead,
Poison Brett
Mix.
Michaels?
You're jazzed about this.
They
Lay
hit
it-
him.
lay it-
I
lay it
watched
on.
all 3
They hit
seasons
him
of
with a
Rock of
bus.
Love.
They hit him with the bus.
Ridiculous.
He
It should have been the
I
Rock
don't
of
know if you
Love
can recommend
bus.
this
Like
movie.
that would have been
He
the
just that's
I
what
have
it is.
no
He like
clue.
just stands in the middle of the street and then like looks toward the bus and then he gets hit by a bus.
He's so bad. Was he wearing a cowboy hat too?
Nobody does have a nice bandana.
All right. I'm going to go on record as saying, as a proponent of SWAT Under Siege, do not see Sharknado 5. But
Do not see SWAT.
yeah, well, I would say see SWAT. I would like to know. It sounded like when Jai White started speaking, he was affecting an African accent. I'm thinking, okay, they're trying to make him the foreign specialist.
Give us
Yeah.
3.
And yeah, and then at some point, it's just no, he's just speaking this way, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's not even Shakespearean. It's just
It was
it's
yeah.
it's the language of brain damage, maybe.
it was a very unique accent.
Unique.
It was unique. I wouldn't pin it directly on the African, but it was unique. It was different.
It was okay. It's kind of like if you're affecting a new version of that old school 1940s.
The transatlantic.
Exactly. Thank you.
Mm.
You know, where it never really came from anywhere. You just kind of like made it up as you went along.
Yeah.
The Eddie Valiant in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
It did actually change a little bit as the movie was going on. His accent did change.
Yeah, that was the
Like
best
he
bit of
forgot what
mark-
it sounds like.
That's
He's
the
like,
mark of a
was
quality
character
film.
development.
That was the best performance in this movie. But you know what? I would recommend it because sometimes you just need to watch a subpar, mediocre movie
Like Sharknado 5.
and laugh.
Oh no,
You
this
know?
is.
And SWAT was one of those movies for me. I give it a thumbs up.
I disagree entirely.
up.
This is the biggest waste of time that anyone could ever go through.
Wow.
It's all the writing on this. It's like the writer just looked at all the worst of these B straight to movie, 80s and 90s films,
Yeah.
and then just wrote every cliche, stereotypical. Is like taking notes on all the stupid stuff. Like, oh, we gotta have a van hit the side of those little cement things and flip over, but before it fully flips over, there's got to be an explosion.
Okay.
And
How
You
many?
could not be more wrong. Mix is giving you the finger.
How many-
was there not a van that exploded for
I was
no
gonna say,
reason at all?
How many Jean-Claude Van Damme backflips do you rate this movie?
It can't even backflip.
No, it's not backflip. It's a
It splits.
Split.
but-
Split.
yeah.
Split. Sorry, it's split. You know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
talking about.
I would get.
You know what I was
Wait,
going
wait, wait.
for here.
It can't
That's
even
how
split.
I'm rating everything from now.
How
I give
many
that 3
Jean-Claude?
split kicks.
How many Jean-Claude Van Damme split kicks? Do you
I
rate
would
this
I would
film?
recommend SWAT Under Siege for pure dumb funness.
It's like they took
Johnny,
SWAT
it
and the
sounds
movie Under
like-
Siege and combined them.
Yes, it is.
But
It
it's bad.
absolutely is. And
Just
this
take
movie-
these movies and make them bad.
Well, it has suicide bombers, it has Latin gangsters, cartel members,
Yeah.
the one mysterious martial arts master, and the SWAT team, cops that are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. All they needed was a badass gang
Well,
leader.
they're
They
SWAT.
needed
They're
to steal
probably
his
in the wrong
car,
place at
and
the
he
right
needed to
time.
get him back. At the same time, he's kidnapping someone's daughter, and that guy is single-handedly taking down a government.
And it even had the secret villain, which they
Yes,
gave away at the very
The double agent.
yeah, like 20 minutes into the movie, you already know
No,
who
they
it's
threw a
gonna
lot.
be.
They threw a lot of red herrings at you.
No, they did not.
They threw red herrings at you. What I did like is the battle of the hackers. They had the
Oh,
battle of
God.
the hackers. The
Oh.
good guy hacker and the bad guy hacker.
It was so bad.
It was
It was
beautiful.
so bad. There's one bad hacker and
There's
one
one
good
good
hacker.
hacker.
But then they had like a cleavage, like a super cliche cleavage shot of this lady with a low cut
There's nothing
bending in
cliche
front
about
of the
cleavage.
nerd
I'm not
of the
complaining.
nerd hacker guy, and he gets distracted, and all of a sudden he looks up. And he's
I'm
like,
not
"Oh,
complaining at all. This movie passed the Bechdel test, dude. Yeah.
Oh,
How often do
wow.
you say that?
Whoa, incredible.
Mm.
Quick, guys.
This movie is
Check out this
this movie-
work
this
of
is just
feminist
bad.
masterpiece.
Hey,
There's nothing
Okay, you know what?
diverse,
You know what? You say
positive
that.
about
You
this
say that
movie.
mockingly, but you can back me up on this. The one really badass character that wasn't like they tried to really force Jai White's character's badassery,
Yep.
but the one really badass character
That
was
seems
the
ridiculous, though,
black
but they
chick
don't
that was
need
the
to.
guard.
I
She
can't
was
believe
just a
two
shot-
women speak to each other about something that's not a man in this movie.
More
The
than
Rock's
two.
HBO Ballers starring The Rock does not pass.
Well, that's
Last time I
The
checked.
Rock. You can forgive a lot from The Rock.
her character was
They got
alright,
beef
but it
for
Her
was
character was dope. She was hardcore.
But it was-
and while they're trying to push like, oh, the commander's this badass, oh, the chief is this badass, Jai White, the prisoner's this badass. No, she was the real badass. This dude tried to break in the office. Oh, I'm gonna kill this hapless security guard, and she kicks him in the chest, knocks him down, shotgun, boom! Not on my ship, mother. Oh, it was. And she had several scenes, including when she eventually went out. Spoilers, but it has to be said. She went out in the most gangster way possible, and the most badass death / multiple kill in this movie.
I think her character, the whole purpose of her character was so that they could insert those like cliche quotes before they kill someone.
It worked for her though.
Or actor.
Everyone else felt like
Lights out.
they're really
Yeah,
cheap.
like one of
They're
those.
cheaply forcing it.
It's a genre movie. It
She
has to
was
be
just
cliche.
a
There's
woman
certain
who had
things
a
you have to
bad day at work, and the last thing she needs is for these fools to get up in her stuff.
I get that, but
Well, okay, I'm
it was
saying
just so hammed up. Everything.
That's
everything.
the reason I would say to see this movie for her performance. Those like 3 or 4 scenes were that made my day. That made the movie for me. The movie is called SWAT Under Siege. It's available now you can find it on YouTube. You can find it if you search SWAT Under Siege.
All the best movies are on
online.
YouTube, guys.
Well, it's one of the
It's so
few
good. It's free on YouTube. Oh, but the quality is that's a big thing that like really hurt my experience was
What?
that the video quality was just terrible, and it was like
actually, for a movie
Stretch
like
out.
of this ilk, the quality was actually better than I've seen for a lot of them. A lot of them are just overly dark. They're shot at night
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah, and this
30-second clip I saw before I turned it off was
You should have watched
Looked
this one,
okay.
man. You missed out. All right, it's called SWAT.
it's still
Under
there.
Siege.
I can probably revisit it later if I.
All right,
so
we'll come
far.
back to Adam Willis for a full report, but it's called SWAT Under
Yeah, we
Siege.
need
It's
we need
available now. It's
we
called
need more
SWAT.
info
Under,
on
it's
this
called
one.
SWAT Under Siege for the 18th time. It's available on YouTube right now. Check it out. I recommend it. Johnny doesn't, so we're check it out if
So
you're
there's
into
some
this stuff.
there's some tension here.
All right, so we've got a few minutes left. I want to kick it over to my man, Just Johnny.
yo,
The apparently hard to please Just Johnny.
yeah.
For a breakdown of a game we actually talked